complicate reality because we don't know how to simply receive. And so today we're really going to get into the intricate pieces of what's making you resist the things that you are asking for in your reality. It's so crazy that it just comes down to learning how to become a really good receiver. When you learn how to become a really great receiver, when you learn how to just get out of the way, get out of your mind, open your energy field, open your heart to just receive, what happens is you stop attracting unnecessary time delays and conditions and circumstances and like all of these things. Okay, so I am on Instagram live and YouTube live simultaneously, so choose your platform. That also means this live is going to be immediately available on YouTube. Okay, I want you guys to do something for me. Let me know in the chat what you feel your biggest resistance is receiving. And when I'm talking about receiving, I'm talking about receiving from source, receiving from God, receiving from the universe, however you relate to the concept of a higher power or a higher energy. What's your biggest resistance? And then I'm going to tell you what I see often or most of the times with people that I work with. Okay, someone says, my mind feeling unworthy. Many people here probably resonate with that. Money, definitely, we're going to talk about that. I feel like I need an avenue for it to come in, which you do. You do. We're going to talk about that. Worthiness is a big one. Feeling like I have to earn it with force. That's usually associated with proving, earning. Second guessing myself. That's associated with a lack of self-trust. Feeling like I'm overthinking, not feeling like I'm good enough. Okay. This is going to completely change everything for you. There's nothing more distractions. Okay. There's absolutely nothing more that source loves doing than figuring out the perfect way to organize what you're asking for, to bring you what you're asking for, to orchestrate the unfolding of what you desire. I mean, literally nothing more that source loves to do. Absolutely, because this is infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence loves to work within the parameters of its own genius. So what it does is, oh, you want this? Okay, not only do we want to bring, this is source coming in, not only do we want to bring it to you, but what is the absolute most iconic, unfathomable, best way possible to bring that into your reality? Because you're dealing with a limitless potential. You're dealing with a limitless energy. So it's not just going to bring, it doesn't want to just co-create with you in a boring, predictable way. This is why we typically never receive the things that we're asking for in the way that we're asking for it. That would be boring for you, but that's also boring for the universe. It defeats the whole purpose of us being in this co-creative experience. So when you adopt this as your new belief, you're actually, really, it goes beyond belief. You have to know. You have to know in your spirit, in your being, in your soul. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. You stop working against the energy that supports you. You just get out of the way. And when you learn to get out of the way, all of that mental energy, some of you were talking about this, like, I'm overthinking it, or I don't have to think about anything. Now, what happens is, because my heart is so open to the game, that's a key code. Is your heart open to the game of the co-creation with source, with the universe? Because my heart is open to the game, I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action, the perfect steps, the exact downloads, the exact moment to moment instructions that I need to play my part, right? Because we do live in physical reality. And I know a lot of people get confused about that. Like, okay, if I'm going to receive and it's going to be easy and I'm going to be in flow, well, what does that mean for action? Well, action is going to be required, but it the degree to which you experience action will be based on your mode of receptivity. If I'm in a mode of receptivity, the actions don't feel hard. It feels like the next logical step. It feels like when I'm taking this action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. And that is the difference. When you force something, um, and this is another thing, you have to start recognizing when you are forcing things. When you force things, there's always a hurdle. That's how you know. When you're forcing something, it feels like you're trying to overpower or overcome something. What most people do is instead of just going, stop, I'm going to just, this is force. It's not working. It's not moving. I'm going to stop. They go harder. They do more. But in the process of the doing more, they just become more unaligned. They just become more agitated, irritated. And in that process, attract more resistance in the entire process of the manifestation unfolding. Some of you right now, I'm hearing you actually need to stop. There's something that um you've been working at. It's like this a relentless energy, but that's coming from more so lack and attachment than actual okay, source is calling this like soul motivation. Sometimes we do have soul motivation where it's like we're applying all this energy, all this force, all this effort, all this, but it's more conductive and conducive to what we're trying to attract. But if it's coming from a frequency of lack more so than it is from pure joy and excitement and just the thrill of this thing happening, or because you truly love the process, then you just get in the way. I want you to tune into the resistance leaving your body right now, whatever you've been thinking about, whatever you've been really working hard at, whatever you've been just like pounding the pavement, like, I need this to manifest. I need this to manifest. Let's let it go. Just let it go. And what I'm hearing is you can imagine that your spirit guide, your guardian angel, however you want to envision this, is standing before you and you just hand it over and you just go, here, take this. Just take it. You feel the peace rush into your vessel. Now, most of us have cultivated this type of dynamic with spirit because trust was broken very early on. Effortless, easy manifestation, materialization, actualization lies in your ability to trust spirit. Um, my partner had something going on with him the other day, and just over the course of a few days, the solution came in, like the solution that he wasn't expecting. And he goes, "Oh my gosh, I get it now. Source is saying you thought we didn't have you. You thought we weren't looking out for you. And that's why this moment for you feels so big. That's why this moment for you feels like relief. That's why this moment for you feels like a load of resistance being alleviated. You thought that we weren't paying attention to the solution that you needed right now." How many of you are doing that? You think source forgot about you. You think that God is not listening to you. You think that you're here doing it by yourself. And because you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yourself, you think that you're here doing it by yoursel you are creating the illusion of being alone and isolated, and that things are difficult, and that you have to continuously struggle and work through all these obstacles. You have to reopen yourself up to divine trust. And so it's funny, I have just like different friends or people that observe me, and they're like, you really believe that you're special, or you really just how they see me navigate in life. It could be as simple as going to a restaurant or something, or something that you need to happen. And yeah, absolutely. I have 100% faith in source. 1000 per every single time. And it doesn't have to come through immediately. I just go, I'm going to get it. It's going to work out. I'm going to get it. And if I don't get it, I'm going to get something better. You want to build yourself up to that level of confidence. Other people, it looks like confidence, but really it's trust. Now, what is trust really? Trust is, I know that source loves me. I know that source loves me. But what happens is, we're like little boys and girls here in the earth plane, and we're let down because we made our parents God. We made our authority figures God. We made the government God. We made other people in our reality the God of our circumstances. And because they could not fill that role, because they never will be able to, we were let down, and it broke our trust. Restoring trust in source, infinite intelligence, all knowing, all powerful ability to see and create whatever you need whenever you need it, starts with remembering, oh, I was always loved. And source, not only, what did we say? Not only wants me to have this, but wants me to have it in the best, highest possible way that I can fathom, because that is the purpose of the game. So the inner child is key. Your inner child is the portal into everything that you've been asking for, not your logic, not what you learned about being a responsible adult, not what you learned about following the rules and being having a boring, mundane life and living the same reality over and over again for 10 plus years. Okay? No, it's your inner child, because your inner child, the same way that source loves reality and loves playing this game, that's also what your inner child loves to do. But because you shut that off, because things got serious and circumstances were hard and difficult, and you replace source with people, now you don't want to play the game. That's why you don't know how to receive anymore. Children know how to receive. They take them to a Toys R Us or something. They think they are worthy of everything in there. No one has to convince them that they're worthy of this stuff. You take them in a grocery store, they're asking for this and that and this and that. They're asking for the experience, right? They're curious, they're excited, they're overjoyed by all this stimuli. Um, they don't have to try. So you've got to retrain yourself to approach your reality like a kid in the candy store. What do I want to experience next without resistance, without thinking that I need to do something, without thinking that I need to um prove that I can have this. This is what Source is explaining to me right now. When we sit back and we go, how can I become good enough to have this? Source just looks at us in total, like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The purpose of the game itself is to experience what this reality has inspired you to desire and want. The next thing that arises in the soul to have, to be, to become. And then all of these resources, all of the angels and the guides and all of this energy and this momentum and this intention aligns around you to support you to have that moment. It's all about that moment. It's like I really love studying athletes, also like rappers and artists and stuff. Like I'll just spend hours and hours listening to interviews because everybody really wants the same thing and it's a moment. For an athlete, it's like they want what the touchdown, the slam dunk, the home run, it's a frequency, it's a feeling of being source in the moment. That's what it is. An artist wants to create the best song, or they want to perform on stage and they want to have that rush of like the crowd knew all of my lyrics, right? What is your moment? What is your that moment where you become one with source and you merge with source and you feel all of the genius of the universe, you feel all of the creativity of your soul, you feel the magnificence of the blueprint that is you being expressed in that moment. What does that look like for you? What are you really going for? I'm telling you, you're going for the feeling. You're going for the slam dunk in life. In life, you want to keep slam dunking. If you don't know what you're looking for and you also don't know how to receive, then you're just walking around operating on what I like to call implanted desires, meaning desires from the matrix. A desire from the matrix is going to say, well, I really need to have this to get this because I need to pay my bills. Okay. Not that exciting, not that stimulating, not that interesting to the universe. Yeah, the universe is going to still support you, but just so you can pay your bills, right? Just so you can be comfortable enough, that's not really playing the game. That's not really living. You're just existing at that point. So, the things that you want right now that you might be trying to force, I want you to even ask yourself, why do I even want this? Is it because I'm going for a slam dunk moment and a feeling? Because if you're going for that, good news, source also wants that. But if you're just going for, I just want to have enough. Okay, lame. I just want to be comfortable enough to not be in fear anymore. And that is a step and a prerequisite before you can expand into this type of co-creatorship. But I want to paint the picture of how boring some of your lives really are. And I'm not saying that to be rude. It's just true. It's not exciting. You do the same things every day. You're asking for really basic things, and then you wonder why even when it happens, it does nothing happens inside of you because it's still coming from lack. It's still coming from um the belief that it was going to be really hard for the universe to organize this thing. It's not difficult for the universe to organize anything. So that means you have to work on your belief. Push. I want you to begin pushing the limits and the boundaries of what you think is possible. And when your ego creeps in and says, well, it's bad or wrong or egotistical or selfish for me to ask for more, I want you to remember what we said. Source is always wanting to create more. And actually, it's inorganic and it's unnatural for you not to ask for more. So you see the inner conflict here. If we're conditioned and taught to believe um we should ask for the bare minimum, but our soul wants to create as much as possible, there's always going to be an energetic inner conflict. There's always going to be you're always going to be at a tug of war with yourself. Get comfortable with asking for more, wanting more, getting excited about the next thing you just discovered that you would like to experience. Push the boundaries of that. Challenge source. Source is saying, we want you to demand from us more. Literally. I'm not settling for I think we could do better. Now, it doesn't mean falling into an ungrateful attitude or right like this This is you having fun, okay? Getting an example of someone like Kobe wanting to win the next championship, wanting the next ring. There's nothing wrong with wanting the next ring. I want another one. Like, dude, you just want I want another one. I don't care. I want another one. It's okay. That is your true genius. Do you think Source settles? Um if Source settled, none of us would be here right now, right? Source would have materialized. They're being really funny right now. They're like, we would have materialized ourselves as, bacteria in the ocean, and we would have just stopped creation and evolution there and just said that's good enough. We would have just said it's good enough to just be a sun or a star or floating energy. No, we're always going to push creation forward. We're always going to materialize into the next genius expression of our intelligence. Why would you not approach your human reality in the same way? Tiffany says, Source can't be expecting me to ask for a house when I can't even manifest an apartment. So here's the thing, Source doesn't care if you live in the house or the apartment, but what Source is interested in is how you feel. If you can only barely manifest the apartment right now, that's fine. That can still be a joyous co-creation for you. You can manifest an apartment that supports you in the way that your energy needs right now, and then you can still have fun expanding into the vibration of the house. Source isn't judging what we desire. Source isn't So we're talking about expansion and limitless possibility, but Source is also not saying, "Oh, hey, you just want that." No, Source understands that that is just where we might be, but what it does want from us is to enjoy the journey along the way. That your slam dunk moment, the vibration and the feeling of the slam dunk moment is actually the same, no matter what the manifestation is. At that particular time that you need that's just where you are. So what's actually happening, Tiffany, is that you are judging yourself in this moment. Source is not judging you. You're judging yourself. Whatever you need next, that's okay. Whatever you're desiring at this particular moment that's relevant to your experience, that is okay. I remember I had this crazy money quantum leap when Source shared something with me about money, and they said the difference between someone spending $300 million on a painting and giving $300 million away to charity there is no difference. For us, it holds the same frequency because we're neutral when it comes to whatever you all are manifesting, however you're spending your money, whatever you're creating, because we don't operate in lack and limitation. Some people would say, isn't giving away $300 million to charity supposed to be more honorable than if someone spent all that money on a fucking painting? Really? When you operate in pure abundance, the difference doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there's always more and there's always enough. That energy can be allocated however it needs to be allocated because the idea of something running out doesn't exist. So, how do we receive more than we ever have before? What are we believing in this moment? Do we believe that there's even more to receive? Do we even believe that what we're asking for can come without struggle? Someone asked me the other day, actually, how can I stop feeling bad about my abundance? I feel guilty because other people don't have what I have. And what we said was, okay, you having less, let's just say if you had less than what you have, you having less than what you have doesn't help them in any way. It doesn't. You being equally in lack as them does not help them. But you being in your abundance creates the example and the opportunity for them to recognize what is possible and what is available. It's difficult to receive when we believe in lack because we think that source creates in the same way that we've been conditioned to create. We've been conditioned to create from lack, right? There's only so much. There's a finite amount of resources. There's a limited amount of energy. There's a limited amount to go around. And then we're trying to create things. Instead of creating things that have never existed, we're trying to just scramble around for the same things that other people have or the same things that other people are doing, and then we just get trapped into this scarcity loop of experiencing a limited amount of what's possible. Whereas source is this inexhaustible energy house of existence, and can extract and pull and leverage and mold whatever needs to take place and happen. You receive more when that becomes your new truth. Source isn't orchestrating your desire out of lack. It's orchestrating it out of infinite abundance, energy, and possibility. Therefore, the struggle that you believe in never really existed. You created it with your mind. You created the struggle with your mind. You created the obstacle with your mind, with your thoughts, with your energy, with your vibration. You created the idea and the belief that something needed to stop you. And some of you have this pattern, and I see this a lot with my clients, where before you receive something, you actually believe that a struggle or an obstacle is necessary. It's like, I can't just have it. If I'm going to have it, it also has to come with this. And that could just be because we saw our parents deal with reality that way. Every single thing that they got came hard or difficult, or it was always like a trauma story associated with it. The purpose of this conversation is to help you understand where you are creating the struggle and the obstacle out of your own unawareness. But true receiving means source just knows how to just go around whatever is in the way. Source just knows how to maneuver and work around and move people, move things, inspire people to things. What do I mean by that? Let's say this is a great example. Let's say you're applying for a job, and you can feel in your soul you are the perfect vibrational match for this job. You could do this job very well. Okay, source is inspiring that hiring manager. Go over her resume or his resume one more time, giving them the energetic impulse to send you that email or to give you that call. Source is working in ways that you can't fathom. You need to be selected for something, or someone asked me, they were trying to get into an Ivy League school and it was really big deal to them. Okay, whoever's going to be reading your application or working on your file or working with your energy, essentially, source is inspiring them. Yeah, she's a really good fit. He's a really good fit. When you do your job, which is just to be in that receptive energy, being open to the possibility, being open to the genius that is source, then source just does the rest. So the real question is, are you doing your job? Are you doing your job? Or are you creating the obstacle, the delay, the struggle, but this, but that, but what if, and this, and how, and who? This is really about mastering the frequency of miracles. What is a miracle? A miracle is simply um the materialization of something happening that would otherwise be wouldn't make sense, that would otherwise seem impossible, but it wasn't impossible because you weren't operating under the same laws that other people would operate by. You weren't approaching the situation the same. You weren't looking at it the same. So because you weren't projecting limitation and scarcity onto that condition or circumstance, the universe could show you something that seemed impossible that really was, it was never impossible. It was just that you decided to release the boundaries and the limitations that have been taught to you. And this is how you manifest every single thing. And people in your life will go, wow, how did that happen? You're living in miracle consciousness where anything is possible, where everything is available. And your only job, someone's asking, explain more what our job is. Your only job is to allow it to happen. That means getting out the way. Let me break this down. Right now, there's something you want, but there are also a set of beliefs and ideas that you believe that are, let's say, stopping you from having this thing. Your job is to put all of those things to the side, put them in a little bucket. This is like your little lack bucket. You put it in your bucket, you push it to the side because how you're seeing the unfolding or the condition sources, those limitations do not exist for source. They just don't exist. So by you playing into them, you create the separation between this reality and that reality. What's the difference between one reality and the next? What you believe. And source has to work around what you believe. So let's say you really want whatever this thing is, but you have all these beliefs, then source says, well, based on these set of beliefs, we can organize this. We can give you this, and not give you from a place of we're controlling what you can have and not have. No, this is what you are allowing in. So, based on your beliefs and your ideas about what's possible, this is what we can co create with you at the moment. The more you refine those beliefs, the more you challenge yourself. Where am I creating the struggle? Where am I creating the obstacle? Where am I creating the limitation? And you push them to the side, this pile. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna put that over there. That's my ego. Okay. For my ego, these limitations do exist. They do. But you move them out the way and you create a path for infinite intelligence to work in your life. And you will receive more than you ever have before. So true. I'm always trying to control the situation. Um, wait, I lost the comment. Give me a second. I must get it together and stay blessed. Yeah, the control. The thing about control is that it's a false sense of safety. It's a false sense of security that we cultivate as a coping mechanism when we're younger. We go, well, things feel really chaotic, right? Because most of our families and parents weren't great manifestors. They were, well, everybody's a great manifester because you're always manifesting, but they weren't great receivers of the desires that they wanted and the solutions that they wanted. So they were getting a bunch of different stuff. Sometimes things went well, sometimes it didn't. And little old you, you're just in the midst of that energy, right? You're just in the midst of that chaos. And as you're in the midst of that chaos, what are you going to do? You're going to create a way to control the environment. You're going to create a way to control the circumstances, but in the process of developing control mechanisms, you block source. And yes, someone says we're always manifesting, question mark. That's cool. You are already a master manifester. Everything in your life right now is materialization of your own consciousness and your own energy. No one here um has an issue with manifesting. It's more so understanding what you are manifesting and why. You are already a master manifester. You don't really need to learn um how to manifest. It's really already built into your soul technology, but what you do have to learn is how to become the manager of your vibration. Right now your vibration might be really inconsistent, which is why you get different things. Sometimes things work out, but sometimes they don't. Just means you're not properly managing your frequency. That's it. Nothing to be ashamed about, nothing to be guilty about. It's a part of the process. That's really what the Earth School is all about. One of the main reasons for the Earth School is it's a playground for souls to learn that they are the creator of their reality. So that's why you have the potential to manifest things that you don't want, things that you do want, and a whole spectrum and a whole range, because the goal is eventually you start saying, hey, wait a minute. I'm not the victim of random circumstance. We need a playground to be able to do that as souls, okay? So it's okay that you have not been properly managing your frequency, so you don't understand why things have been happening. Someone asked a really good question that I wanted to answer. Okay, someone asked about ego. Should we completely get rid of ego? So, your ego is your friend. Your ego is your best friend. Your ego is the human part of you that even allows you to have desire to a certain degree. It's when your ego is running the show from a place of lack. There's a such thing as having a crystallized ego, an ascended ego, an evolved ego, an ego that serves you, an ego that works with you and for you. Very different than a lower dimensional ego that is operating on just a lack of awareness. Your ego is your personality. Your ego is the vehicle through which source is experiencing the unique expression that is you. That is beautiful. Why would we ever want to get rid of that? So we don't get rid of it. We become the master of it. We make friends with it. I would even suggest understand your own ego. What do you, the things that you think you want, why do you really want them? Are you secretly trying to prove yourself to your mom or your dad or your boss or an ex partner or someone that didn't believe in you? Okay. Become the awareness that can see that and recognize that and go, okay, I see what my ego is doing here. That's not the appropriate way to create anything. You will actually dilute the frequency of whatever you're trying to materialize. If you're trying to attract and manifest something, but really at the core it's wounded energy. That's how you work with your ego. Is my ego attached to something because it doesn't understand that I am already source? Is it trying to get something? Love, usually, acceptance, validation, someone affirming your worth. A refined ego, a crystallized ego, more so operates on, I really would love to have that experience, but I'm not attached. But I am excited about the actions and the steps and the juiciness of life to cultivate it to make it happen. The process, essentially. The crystallized ego will enjoy the process. The lower dimensional ego will be attached and will try to avoid um, process or different things and then create suffering for you because it's not really having fun. It just wants something to say that it has it, to fulfill some need that is an extension of wounded energy. Okay. So I've got to hop off. I really wish I could stay because this was amazing. However, tonight I am going to be interviewing with Black Magic 363, and we're going to be talking about the purpose. I think we're talking about, yeah, the purpose for being on Earth. And I'm going to touch on some more of these things. So that's going to be at 7 o'clock. No, 6 p.m. Pacific, so 9 p.m. Eastern. Definitely check that out. It's going to get real. We're going to talk about some real stuff. So I'll see you guys then. Much love. And bye to my YouTube friends.